Hey everybody, it's Holly
and Heather,
and welcome, let me straighten this up, welcome to a Sunday edition, a little later in the afternoon, of Everything Elvis. Today we are going to be trying to recap, summarize, review the ups, downs, the highs and lows of Elvis Week. Heather and I just got back a couple of days ago. We are still exhausted. But we're trudging on. So while everybody jumps on here, because I know we're running a little bit late as usual, but as everyone jumps on here, please share this with all your Elvis loving friends, or if you guys came along to Elvis Week with us, join in, go grab a cup of coffee, get a snack, and let's settle in and chit chat about Elvis Week. Heather, how are you feeling?
I mean, yes, tired, but
exhilarated still.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, holy cow, what a 45th Elvis week it was.
Yeah.
9 jam-packed, and when I say jam-packed, days of non-stop Elvis.
We were literally driving home, and Heather was like, I don't feel like I've had a vacation. I'm exhausted. I need like some time to rest. Yes. There was no time.
Yeah, it was so much, but like I said, we did so much, but there was still so much more to do, and so much we didn't even get to do that we're already making a list. We're like, okay, let's do this next year. Let's go here next year. Let's add this to our list next year. Some new things, new events that we discovered that we didn't even get a chance to go to.
Yeah.
But yes, 9 jam-packed days, but it was a fabulous Elvis week. So many great highlights, so many great moments. And thank you all. Just for Holly and I, this was by far our best Elvis week with our Everything Elvis family.
Yes, you guys made it incredible. All of the people that we met and we got to hang out with and just get to know better. I hope y'all are joining on here, our EE friends.
Yes.
So,
and everybody that like watched the videos, everybody that commented, a lot of you your first time.
Yeah.
Holly and I were trying to, in the car, we were trying to go back and like look through some posts and look through some comments and things, and there were so many of you that were like, I just discovered you this year, I just discovered your page, I love it, so thank you.
Yeah, if this is your first time tuning into a Sunday edition of Everything Else, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Throw some questions our way.
Yeah, if you have a comment, a question, something about Elvis Week, put it up. I'll try to go through the comments here in a minute. If you have messaged me or commented during Elvis Week, I've got so many messages to look back on, and I just haven't had time because we literally drove home. Well, we needed a break, so we took like a couple of days after Elvis Week, and I didn't even look at my phone. And then we drove back, we're here, and now you know how you just jump back into life. So this next week, in the next few days, I'm going to really try to answer, so don't feel like I've left you out. If you've sent me a message, I'm going to try to answer it as best I can. We'll talk about the scavenger hunt, the goodie bags, all of that good stuff during our live today. So if you have any questions about any of that stuff, feel free to put it in the comments. Hello to everybody. Oh my gosh, I can't believe all these people that are tuning in. Thank you so much.
And we'll try to go back and look at some of the comments and questions here in a second. Say hello to some people. But yeah, you know, Elvis Week, it's always such a fun time, and then always a bittersweet when it ends, because it's something that, you know, Holly and I look forward to literally, and we plan our vacation around, and we save up all year, and then we like count down the months and the weeks until it gets here, and then it gets here, and it's like you blink, you feel like you blink, and it's gone, and then it's like,
Lynn's on here. Hey, Lynn. She said she's already writing down things for next year. Right. We are too. I told Heather, because it just goes by so fast, like I'll literally be like, what did we do the second day we were there? Like, we can't remember.
Like right now, Holly just goes, I go, what exactly are we talking about today? She was like, we're just going to get on here and thank people and say hello. We're going to do a recap, some highlights and lowlights of Elvis Week. And she was like, we'll just maybe talk about day by day. And I was like, I don't really remember what we did each day.
I know, I was like, pull up the schedule. So, I know, so we're like, yeah, that's another thing this week. I'm going to kind of try to like write down what all we did, and then like say, okay, did we like this? Did we not? Would we do it again? Would we not? I will have to say, every panel, every show we went to, I would tenfold go back and watch again next year. Like,
there was a couple of new shows that Holly and I attended this year that we had never done, and we were
Right.
like, let's try it out. And now they're like on our favorite list. So.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I can say about the shows and panels were there were a couple we missed out on just for scheduling conflicts that we're super sad we didn't get to.
Yeah.
But we will definitely be adding them, if at all possible, next year. So,
although next year is going to be a shorter Elvis week.
Yeah, that's
So,
interesting. I guess because it's not
our
like
friend
a main.
Lynn was talking about this with us
Yeah.
in line for the farewell party the other night, and it's apparently going to be a shorter Elvis week. This year was 9 days. Next year's 6 days?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh man, how are they going to cram all this into those 6 days?
Well, I think it's going to be because it's not like a huge number. It's not like a 40, 45th, 50th, something like that. But yeah, I don't honestly know how they're going to do it because they have to do all the ETA stuff. They'll have to do a couple of shows with Elvis and like some panels. So I don't know. It's so crazy.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, everybody's just saying thanks.
Oh,
and
yay.
Guys, you're so welcome. We had the best time showing everything, like showing all the shows to you guys and stuff. And we were just sad there was a couple of shows that we weren't able to video. There's a weird room. Most of the shows are held at the soundstage, which is at the complex. There's a couple of shows they did at the guest house in they call them banquet rooms. I don't know what's up with those rooms. I don't know if they had like a weird Wi-Fi block or something, but every time you walked in there, literally your phone quit working. Like you couldn't text, you couldn't call out, you definitely couldn't live stream. So we messed up on that. It kind of jolted us because we just assumed we'd be able to live stream, and so we did miss out the ATA Gospel Brunch, which was awesome. Next year, what we're going to plan for that room, if there's a show in that room, we're just going to like try to video it and then upload it later, so it wouldn't be live, but at least you get to see it.
Which is what we did a little bit of, and thank you all for the overwhelming response to it. That's a little bit of what we did. So the very last event we did on Wednesday night was the Viva Las Vegas farewell party, which I guess that would kind of be a little bit of a low light too. Only because it changed.
Yeah, but that wasn't Graceland's fault.
Yeah, that wasn't Graceland's fault. But the very last event we did, so I don't know why I'm starting with this, because do you want to start with the others? And then
well, you're already into it now.
Okay, well, it just goes along with your videoing thing. Okay. But it was supposed to be this little Viva Las Vegas farewell party, so it was very similar to the Blue Hawaii Luau that Holly and I did last year. So it was supposed to be outside on the back lawn of the guest house, and they were going to set up banquet tables and then serve like a buffet line of food, and then have a movie projector set up to watch Viva Las Vegas. And so this year it was raining Wednesday morning, and I think Graceland got a little nervous that the rain would keep up or it would come back, so they had to just move it inside. Yeah. So then they moved it into that same banquet room, and Holly and I were like, oh no, we won't be able to film anything or live anything because of that. So it got moved inside, so that was a little like meh, but it turned out great because they had a surprise entertainer, which was Dean Z. We had no idea that he was going to be there. So they had like some little showgirls on the side, and then they had Dean come out for quite a while. Yeah. And he did more like movie songs, and he did an awesome job. And so I was able to video a couple of those, and then we uploaded it to Holly's Facebook, and so many of you have watched it and shared it and commented on it and just loved it. So
yeah, you got the two best songs. He sang like 6 or 8 songs, but finally, like, Heather and I were looking at each other like, I wish we could live stream this, but like the phone's not going to work. And so I literally was just like, Heather, you got the better camera, run up there and video it. And so Heather like beelines it in front of a bunch of tables, like tries to get as close as she can. And I'm like, I'm sure Dean thinks we're crazy, but that's okay. Yeah. So yeah, it was fabulous.
Yes.
And that was actually a cool night for him because that was the 10th anniversary, 9th anniversary of him winning the Ultimate ETA. The 9th. So that was like the literal like
that was the exact day, like August 17th, 2013 was when he won the Elvis Tribute Artist Ultimate Championship. And so that's, I kind of think why he chose to do Jailhouse Rock as the last song, because that was his song that he won with, which is still one of my all-time, if not my favorite, final performances ever of an Ultimate Tribute Artist for their crowning moment.
Yeah, and while we're talking about Dean and the ETAs, we'll branch into this subject because we got a lot of comments. Overwhelmingly, all of our comments are always super positive. But you always have those negative Nancy's that have to get on here and, say a little something. And like one person commented like, oh, it wasn't Elvis week, it was Dean Z week. Really? I mean, here's my thoughts on that. Heather and I love all of the ETAs. We adore Dean Z. He is a fabulous, fabulous ambassador, not only for Elvis and his legacy, but for Elvis Presley Enterprises, for Graceland, for the Guest House, for Elvis Week. He is a true fan. He's been coming for 29 years in a row, he said on an interview. I say the more the merrier. The more ETAs they can get over there to do shows or panels or interviews or games or dances or whatever, bring them on. Because you need, anytime someone is up there doing anything related to Elvis, it's just highlighting Elvis Presley. Like if Dean's up there, we're there for Dean, but we're there for Elvis Presley. Mm-hmm. So I think anytime they can do something, and I think that's smart of EPE and Graceland to utilize him as well as these other fantastic tribute artists, because it just makes the week more enjoyable. And
we all know that there is only one and will ever only be one Elvis Presley.
Yes.
So
we know these people don't compare. They know they don't compare.
They're just trying to keep Elvis's memory and his music and his legacy alive and pay honor and pay tribute to him. Yeah. And all of these guys work really, really hard. Mm-hmm. They put a lot of time and effort. I mean, I can't even imagine. They put a lot of time and effort and dedication into trying to represent Elvis the best that they possibly can. And at the end of the day, they're all really great guys, and they're all really talented guys. I mean, outside of just like Elvis tribute, they are all, super, super talented guys. And they all really do have just a deep passion, love, and respect.
Well, and here's my thoughts
for Elvis. And they always try to, make sure that they, are respectful and do that.
Well, and on Elvis Week, there's only so much you can do with the real Elvis. Like, you can show videos, you can kind of do the panels, but if you really want live music and a live singer and a concert-type show, you have to branch out. That's why they have Terry McJeffries. That's why they have Andy Child. That's why the TCB band comes back. You have to have that. Like, I don't want to go to Elvis Week and literally just watch panel, video, video. Like, I want to see a live show. I want to see some live music.
I mean, and for those of us that weren't lucky enough to be alive when Elvis was, or to get to see him in concert, this is the closest thing sometimes that we get. Besides when they do the Elvis in concert, show, this is the closest we get to seeing what it might have been like. And at the end of the day, it's just entertainment. It's entertaining. And again, it's opening up that world of Elvis and his music, because, who knows that somebody might go see Dean Z in Branson, or go see Jay Dupuis in Myrtle Beach, or Dwight in Florida or something, and they see their shows and they're like, wow, some of those songs and things were awesome. I'm going to look into this Elvis guy. Yeah. And then they go down the rabbit hole and they discover the real Elvis, and they see what he really looked like, what he really sounded like, and then it's like they're a fan. They become a fan. They become a fan of Elvis, and that's what we all want, because looking at it, a lot of us were sitting around, and that's a highlight I'll talk about here in a minute, but a lot of us were sitting around the other night after one of the shows, and we were all talking about, can you believe 45 years later, here we are still celebrating this one man, still talking about him, still loving him, still, spreading the music and life of Elvis Presley, and we all want that to be another 45 years from now. I mean, I'll be long gone probably by then, but maybe not. If I'm not, I'll be at Elvis Week.
With your walker.
I will. I'll be in my little scooter or walker, and I'll be at Elvis Week if I'm still alive. But if I'm not, I hope that there's a whole nother group of people that are like, can you believe it's been 90 years and we're still sitting here. We're still sitting here having Elvis Week, touring Graceland, and talking about Elvis Presley. Yeah. So that is the mission. That is the goal. That is what all of this drives, is that enthusiasm and quest for Elvis.
So that's how we feel about that.
Yeah. So if you don't, bottom line is, if you don't like the Elvis tribute artists and you don't like our videos and you don't want to see them, move on. There's enough hate and enough negativity in the world that goes on every single day. So just keep your mouth closed and move on. Find another page. Find another video. So So that's all I'm going to say about that. So how are you guys?
Heather got over to change it. But anyway, yeah, so that was a highlight. So I guess we're going to go backwards. That was a highlight.
Well, I guess let's start with the ETA stuff. Let's maybe start with that and then move.
Okay, night one was Cody Ray Slaughter, one night only. Fabulous show. Cody Ray was fantastic. The venue was sold out. It was packed. We loved it. It was so neat that they let him borrow the stage from the NBC, not the original 68 Comeback Special, but the NBC special they had a few years ago that Blake Shelton hosted. It was cool to have that on there. And then they did have the actual chairs. Like, yeah, I was like, I can't believe they're letting Cody put his foot on that chair, but okay. It was so great. So that was a fabulous kickoff, I thought, to Elvis Week. It was really, really good. And then I'm trying to think, day two, was that the semifinals? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So how about that contest this year, y'all? How about that contest this year?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Really, really good group of guys and selection of guys. You know, I kind of wish there had been more contestants. There were 14. But again, I think everything is still kind of in this weird bubble as far as the festivals and things across the country because, you know, COVID really kind of halted all of that and put a damper on it. And so I think a lot of festivals are trying to refigure their way back, especially, you know, with, you know, people not being able to like travel and stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully this year it'll be kind of back to more normal and there'll be a lot more contestants and things. But man, what a stellar group of 14 that it was.
Yes, it was.
Really
it was amazing.
Really hard decision, you know, to narrow it down. You know, Holly and I had already talked about this on a previous video. You know, we had our favorites. I know y'all had your favorites. You know, some got in the top 10 and the top 5 that we wanted, some didn't. I'm sure the same with you. But, you know, that's always the exciting thing about the ETA contest is that I feel like there's certain years that you're like, you know who's going to be it. And then there's just other years that it's kind of like, oh, I didn't see that one coming. Or, oh, I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh. Susan and Greg are on here. Hello. Hello. She said tell it like it is. You don't have to tell Heather twice.
You got it, Susan.
Hey guys, we had so much fun with y'all, and we didn't get to say bye. We were sad. We were talking about y'all on the ride home, cause y'all, you keep running into everybody, and we were like, oh, we'll see them on the next show, and then like we didn't see y'all for the next show. So anyway, but we had some great conversations with Susan and Greg and the fam. Tell everybody we said hello.
I know your sweet little family.
I know, they're so cute.
And I can't remember her name, but tell your daughter thank you. She sent the nicest little comment to one of mine and Holly's videos.
When we were doing it after the Graceland After Dark.
Yeah, she sent the sweetest little comment to us, so tell her thank you. That meant a lot.
Yes, that was so sweet.
And then on to the Ultimate Returns. So, you know, that's always one of our favorite shows because, you know, literally that's where they pick some of the, you know, returning ultimates, some of the best, and they kind of do an entire show based around them. I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed the show this year, but this might be a little low light in a way. I will say that I thought it was too many. In years past, I feel like they've always picked maybe like what, 3? Sometimes 3, sometimes
4.
maybe 5.
I think they've done 4.
Yeah.
Like 2 at the beginning, 2 at night.
Yeah, they'll pick like, you know, several different ones or whatever, and, you know, like kind of let them do different, like maybe, you know, one will do more 50s, one will do 60s, one will do 70s, or a couple will do 70s or whatever. But this year, it was literally like, how many was it? I'm trying to even think. It was, what? It was Dean opened it.
8.
Yeah.
I think it was like 8
Dean,
or 9.
Cody,
And not that that's a
Ben.
lot, because we saw the Ultimate Returns 10 when they did all 10, but I think they only sung 2 songs apiece, maybe 3. All of these, it was like 8 ETAs, and they all sang like 5 or 6 songs, I'm going to say. And so it did run quite long.
It was over 3 hours.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hey, I'm never going to complain about being entertained about the ETAs and stuff. But it was a really long show, and it was a lot of them. But still a phenomenal show. You know, Dean Z opened it, and Sean Clush closed it. And then,
And I'll tell you, Heather and I, you know, me especially, I've got some new favorites. You know the ones we always talk about, my honey. Gordon Hendricks and Patrick Dunn, new favorites. I love them. They are both so great and so sweet, and they were just so good. We saw them multiple times in different. They did a panel. We didn't go to it live, but we saw them during the jukebox. What was it called? something with it, Rockin' the Jukebox. That was the show that we didn't go see, but we've got it marked on our calendar for next year.
Yeah.
And then we saw them on Dean's Unplugged show. Like, so good. So they're both so great. I did miss Dwight.
Yeah.
Y'all know how much I love Dwight. He wasn't there. So
and
Dwight,
he was doing, I think, some shows like around the area. But again, we just could not get to them.
Yeah.
We could not make it work. But yeah, he was definitely missed. But it was great to see Ben Thompson back.
Oh, yes.
You know, and it was great to have Gordon back, you know, having them from the UK and everything. It was great to have them back. But yeah, that was just a really great show. it was just jam-packed nonstop. So if you didn't see that one, go back and watch The Ultimate Returns because it is incredible. Yeah. And then, of course, there was the finals of the contest. So, you know, that great show and
also
stuff.
a great show. Yeah, they sang some great song choices. Everybody put their A game on it. Congratulations to Victor Trevino. I know he's been in it for several years and has really wanted this. So, you know, I think he'll be a great representation for Graceland this year.
And he played it smart. You know, he played it smart.
He did.
He, you know, really kind of focused on the movie this year. And he did a lot of the songs from the movie and kind of what you know, something just
Pardon
fell.
the crash.
Something just fell in our house. Hope it wasn't a mirror off the wall.
It's a ghost.
But he kind of like, you know, did a lot of the movies like The Trouble and the If I Can Dream and all that. And so I thought that was really smart. That he, you know, kind of, you know, since the movie's so hot and so popular right now, he kind of parlayed that into his performances this year. So, you know, cool job. Cool job. Oh, and we got a new favorite from the contest as well, little Matt Stone. How much did you all like Matt? Holly and I also got the opportunity to see him in the Candlelight Vigil line, which I always think that's so cool when you go to the Candlelight Vigil and you see some of the tribute artists stay until that. And that was one thing that Gordon Hendricks, we talked to him several times throughout the week, and I asked him when he was leaving, and he was like, I'm staying through the Candlelight Vigil because I definitely want to go to that. You know, that's what Elvis Week is all about. So we saw him in line. We got to see Matt Stone in line. We got a picture made with Matt, and Holly got to tell him how great she thought he did in the contest. So anyway, you know, that too gives me hope for the future of the ETA. Because we gotta keep you know some young ones coming through and coming up, and so you know he's already on his way. So it'll be interesting to see how and what he does in the next like 5 years. And a lot of people are asking about poor Cody Ray Slaughter. We don't know. I've been looking on his Facebook, but I haven't seen him post. We've been trying to keep track of it. But if anybody out there knows, you know, he did fall during one of the shows and broke his ankle, and I think he's going to be out of commission for a little bit of time, hopefully not too long, but if you hear anything, message me, let us know. We've not heard a thing yet, so just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And somebody said, have we seen Ben Portsmouth? Yes, we love him. He's amazing as well. I will tell, and actually, because I know we have a lot of new people on here, you've probably heard me tell this story before, but actually Ben Portsmouth is how Holly and I discovered the Elvis tribute artists. I didn't even really know. Like I said, Holly and I have been going to Graceland for years and stuff, but we've been actually going to Elvis Week since 2013. And that was our first tribute artist competition as well, which is when Dean Z won. But I didn't even know that this tribute artist world existed, especially in that capacity of having like a contest where they won. Until years ago, Holly and I were watching David Letterman, and he was having like an Elvis week, and every single night he was having a different ultimate tribute artist perform at the very end. And Ben Portsmouth came on one night, and Holly was like, oh, it says that there's going to be like a Elvis artist, like tribute artist perform, and let's watch and see. I was like, holy cow, who is this guy? Like, he came out in the like eagle jumpsuit with the American trilogy, and I was literally like, whoa, who is this guy? What is this all about? We have to research it. So then we started looking into it, and Holly was like, Heather, they have a thing called Elvis Week, and they have a tribute artist contest. We're going. Yes. So we went. So he's actually how we discovered the ETA world. So then after all the so that was kind of the finale of the ETA stuff, except we did go to the conversations with the ETA panel, which turned out to be, I thought it was just going to be, you know, Dean like interviewing them, but it's so funny. They do like little games, and
it was hilarious, but it was very sweet at the end. Ben Thompson, I didn't know this, but they get like, when they win the Ultimate, they get like a replica of one of Elvis's belts. And it's like inscribed, I think, with like Ultimate ETA and like the year they win and all that. And I didn't know Ben hadn't gotten his. So they did this hilarious game where it was like a scavenger hunt of their own. And so he had a list of stuff he had to get from the audience. So he ran out and got all this stuff, and then they kept going, oh, you're going to get a prize, you're going to get a prize. And at the end, it actually was a real like gift to him, and it was like the ETA belt that he's been waiting, what, they say 3 years on, I think.
Yeah.
So that was super sweet. So that was just a really good, if you didn't watch the panel, go back and watch it, because it just shows you a little bit of their personalities and kind of them outside of their Elvis realm. And so it was really neat. So,
and again, I think that will give you even more appreciation for the tribute artists as well, because like I said, this is, something they dedicate their lives to, but they also have this whole life outside of this and things that have gotten them to this point or led up to it or whatever. Because I found it really interesting, like Taylor Rodriguez, I found it really interesting, all of the different like musicals and plays and things that he's done.
And Patrick Dunn has a huge Broadway career. He
Sean
is touring all
is
over.
like
He's
actor.
an actor. Like a bit like on serious shows. Like not just like, oh, I did a car commercial for my hometown. It's like a legit FX show. And then, Cody Ray Slaughter's recording an album of original music. So they all have really interesting, lives. So ETA stuff, all fabulous. Then we moved on. So it kind of was like the first half of the week was ETA. The second half was more Elvis. The panels were all fantastic.
All the guests were great.
Oh,
they were
so
unique.
Good.
They all brought their own like perspective and stuff. Let's see. It was so great to see Barbara Eden, and man, does she still look good at 91. Still like gets around great. Still looks great. She's still.
I can only hope.
Yeah, she's still witty. It was just cool to hear her kind of talk about her, relationship with Elvis, and then Marlon Mason. She judged the contest, but then she came and did a panel. She also, good Lord, just a little spitfire. Yeah. Just a ball full of energy and just love.
So happy to be there. Like, she was so genuinely thrilled to be there and meet the fans. I think she'll come back next year, and I hope they have her.
Oh, yeah, she'll come back.
Yeah. Pat Boone, hysterical. Hilarious. Yeah. And what a legend. It's like, I learned a lot about him. Of course, we all know of Pat Boone, but I wasn't, like, a super fan. But, I learned a lot about him. I had no idea. Like, my dad's always said, like, Pat Boone was, like, huge for his time. And I really didn't realize how huge he was. It's crazy. So that was really interesting. And he had some great stories. Go back and watch the panels if you didn't see them. There's just too much for us to talk about. I mean, it was so good.
It was nice to see Jerry Scheff back.
Yes.
I thought he seemed really excited to be there.
He did.
And I thought he seemed
played
really
great.
Yeah, I thought he seemed really humbled by the fans and the reaction and everything. Yeah. Because all the guests got a really warm welcome from everybody. But yeah, everybody was great. It was great to hear from Sam Thompson and Charles Stone, because I kind of like that, what they do with the panels, because I always like to hear different perspectives on Elvis. It's always great to hear, from like the musicians, or people that, sang with Elvis and stuff. I always love to hear them and hear their stories and stuff, because they have the whole like performance perspective of Elvis. But it's nice to hear somebody like Sam, who was a bodyguard, or Charles Stone, who was a manager, or Barbara Eden, who acted with him in a movie. Yeah. Because everybody has a different story to tell of Elvis. But I'll tell you, the running theme always from every single guest is what a great guy Elvis was, how he treated everybody with respect, how he treated everybody the same, and how good looking he was, and just what a charm and charisma and energy he had, and a presence like that just is a constant. It just runs through everybody's story, is just what a great guy he was. So.
Yeah, so that's always nice to hear, because if it's coming from that many people, it's true.
Exactly.
So that was great. So the panels, like I say, they were all fantastic. If you missed one, even if you don't think you're going to enjoy the guests, go back and watch it. Like, that's how I always am. The panels that we always go to that I'm like, they're not going to be that great. They're the ones I wind up loving. Yeah. Like this guy, Brian Quinn Q from Impractical Jokers, we've talked about him. He was hilarious. It was a great fan perspective, like Heather said, and
it's always nice to see Jerry and Priscilla.
Yes.
Because, the sad thing is, and that's what I was, telling Holly about too, is the sad thing is that a lot of those people that were so close to Elvis are, unfortunately continuing to go and pass on and stuff. So the many opportunities we can get, the more opportunities we can get to, hear and see them and them to be a part of Elvis Week, the better. So it's always nice to have, Priscilla and Jerry, and, the band members and stuff. Unfortunately, that was a low light as well. Unfortunately, James Burton couldn't be there this year.
Yeah,
so he's, been sick and been dealing with COVID and stuff. So he unfortunately had to cancel and couldn't be a part of the panels or the concerts. But he was on Huckabee last night. Yeah, so if any of you didn't see it, it's coming back on tonight. So James and Hal Lansky, go back and watch it.
And the Imperials.
James, Hal Lansky, and the Imperials were on a little ending segment of the Huckabee show talking about Elvis and his legacy.
Nice.
So
it was very good. Yeah, it was really
cool.
Good. Somebody was asking, okay, and we'll just briefly touch on this. A few people have been asking about the whole Priscilla debacle. All right, here's our thoughts on this. So you all probably know. We were taping the candlelight vigil. Hopefully you saw it because we got cut off. But it's like a 20-minute video. And Priscilla came out to do the dedication for the vigil. And she accidentally commented that it was Elvis's birthday. And said happy birthday to him instead of like happy anniversary or whatever. Here are my thoughts on that. Priscilla got a ton of things on her mind during Elvis Week, I'm sure. She's a little bit older. There's lots to do. They're shuffling her from place to place. She gets nervous. Like, even though, and I've always thought this about Priscilla, even though she was an actress, she acted in movies. It's like I tell Heather, because this is the difference in Heather and I. If you give me something scripted to say, like if you're like, Holly, I need you to say this 10-page essay on camera, I can do it. If you just say, Holly, tell us your thoughts on this. I'm like, deer in the headlight. I start rambling. I like, Heather has to cut me off. Heather is the opposite. You can be like, Heather, I need you to do a 15-minute speech on snails. She's like, okay. And then she can just like rattle it off. I think it's just a difference in people. So I think Priscilla got a little nervous. She was overwhelmed by the crowd. And things happen. I'll tell you my thought on it. I don't really blame her. I actually blame her assistants and entourage, because if I had been her assistant, Heather and I talked about this, I would have kind of walked up there and whispered and been like, hey, Yaxeline said it was his birthday, and it's the anniversary, go back and fix this. Or Jack Soden or one of them should have come up and been like, oh, hey, I know you're tired, but
yeah, I'm surprised none of them said anything to her, so that she had the opportunity to come back up and say, oh my gosh, I don't know what I was thinking or what I was doing. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know why she made that fumble and that mistake. And it was cringeworthy, I will say for sure. And it was unfortunate that she just kept saying it. Like, I can see if she had just said one time, but she kept saying birthday. She kept saying how Elvis loved everybody's birthday. And then she said, let's all wish Elvis a happy birthday. So I don't know. It was very bizarre and weird. But yeah, I know a lot of people are really like mad about it and are really upset about it. And a lot of people are like, there's no reason, there's no coming back from that. She knew better or whatever. I don't know. All I know is at the end of the day, she's human. At the end of the day, she's human. We all make mistakes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We all make mistakes. We all, say and do things. So no one is perfect. Not even Elvis was perfect. So,
And it's what it is, and that's all we have to say about that.
And I will say that I did find it interesting that, because somebody had to tell her, surely to goodness, somebody had to tell her, like, hey, you do know that you said happy birthday, right? I was kind of surprised when she came back out for the Elvis in concert at the beginning with Andy Childs. I told Holly, I was like, I bet she's going to address it. I bet she's going to say something. And she didn't. So I was very surprised by that. So I don't know.
It's not up to us to judge. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Some other people, next topic, some other people were talking about how great they loved the EP Boulevard Pawn Shop video. Highlight of Heather and I's trip, one of the highlights. So we went in there, our friend John Daly always does his Elvis Summer Festival. It's so short. It's so hard to get to it multiple times. It was the 12th through the 16th at the Holiday Inn. We went there on the 12th and got a copy of John's book. We got it autographed. We went and saw all the memorabilia that was there, had great conversations with people. check out the video if you missed it. It was so good. All of the great things that he had on display. He had a full case of some of the props from the movie and Colonel Tom's personal estate. And I'm sure you saw the pictures. But of course, after we stopped video, and John's like, do you want to do something special? And we're like, yes. And he pulled out of his little case the little Christmas sweater Elvis prop from the movie that Tom Hanks, and I hope Austin Butler, touched, and let Heather and I get our picture with it. It was so thrilling.
Yeah.
I was so excited, y'all.
Yeah, and I will say, if you have a chance to pick up John's book, Guaranteed to Blow Your Mind, do so. Holly and I got a copy and got John to sign it for us, and it looks so great.
Yeah, we've just flipped through it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, cannot wait to actually delve into it. And that was another cool thing, is that John actually showed us the real negatives. That he found, that they produced the pictures that are in the thing. So it was just a really cool day. So much thanks goes out to John.
Yeah.
And for just being a great, John for just being a great friend to Holly and I, and for being just a great ambassador for Elvis. Golly. And that was another thing I really wanted. I did get a couple of things when we were there that day, of course. But I really wanted to go back again to the pawn shop throughout the week and see what else John had. And I'm sure I would have found tons more stuff, but we just didn't get an opportunity. We kept saying, like, let's try to squeeze in like 30 minutes here, or, you know, whatever. And we just couldn't. But that was a definite highlight of the week.
I think the title, somebody's asking the title, the book is called Guaranteed to Blow Your Mind. The Tour of 76, I think, something like that. Guaranteed. If you Google Guaranteed to Blow Your Mind, I think it will be available online after this week. John said, I think he has a website as well as an eBay store, and there will be selling it on that. But if you just Google John Daly, Guaranteed to Blow Your Mind, I'm sure it will pull up the book. And it was an exclusive for Elvis Week. This particular week, but I think after that he's going to put it online. And like I say, Heather and I are going to both read it and hopefully try to do like an in-depth review of it and show you guys some stuff from it. We have so much. We have so many books to read. We have so many things. Probably next Sunday, if we come on here, we will try and do a little bit of our haul, because we got some great stuff, and we'll show you a more in-depth look at the book and some of the other stuff.
Yeah, so that's what the cover of it's going to look like. So yeah, it's called Elvis, Guaranteed to Blow Your Mind. And then it's called the November 1976 Tour Revisited. And he has a foreword by Charles Stone in there. Charles Stone, I think, helped him kind of, research and put together the book and everything. We asked John, and he said he'd been working on it for over a year. So really cool there. We also got to see...
Beth says it's on Amazon already, so...
We also got to see Sally Hodel. She was very, very sweet to Holly and I. And great to see her. If you haven't picked up her book, please do so as well. Oh yes, today is James Burton's birthday. Everybody's wishing James happy birthday.
Aww,
happy birthday, James.
Yes, happy birthday.
The 17th was Austin Butler's birthday. That was another low light. I kept thinking, I was holding out hope the whole week. I kept thinking, like, Austin Butler's going to show up. He's going to show up. I was like, he's going to be in the ETA contest. He's going to be a secret judge, and he's going to perform. Didn't happen. Then I was like, he's going to show up at the Candlelight Visual, and he's going to be one of the speakers on the podium. Didn't happen. Then I was like, he's going to be at one of the panels. Didn't happen.
Well, I think now they're probably going to wait, and either when they release this 4-hour footage, maybe he'll come back, or they'll just do like a 5th anniversary or 10th anniversary of the movie, and they'll be like, surprise guest, Austin Butler for the 10th anniversary of the Elvis movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was disappointed as well.
Yes.
So.
Let's see, what else? And then I'm going to look at some comments and things.
Yeah, we're trying to look at comments.
The All the King's Men concert was great. Some of you were commenting about that. That was great. It was so nice. Like we said, it's always great to see the TC band members there. Glendy Harden, it's just, he just radiates like joy.
Yeah.
He just,
Absolutely.
seems so cool. And, to see him and Jerry Chef playing, and Estelle Brown, she is just the sweetest. It was really cool to see at the end when they all gathered around the piano at the end of the All the King's Men concert. They all gathered around the piano. The Stamps, the Imperials, Larry Strickland, Estelle Brown, and they all sang kind of like, Elvis used to have everybody do after the show. So that was kind of a cool moment. And then the Elvis in concert was fabulous. I thought this was one of the best Elvis in concerts that they've done.
Yes.
As far as the concert footage they showed, the way they did the screen work on the sides.
The band sounded phenomenal.
The selection of songs.
Oh, yes.
The band, the Imperials sounded awesome. So I thought this year's Elvis in concert was definitely one of the best that we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's do some comments.
Another highlight was we had met her last year. Our good friend Daryl Toney of the Imperials had introduced us to Donna Presley, which is Elvis's first cousin, last year. But it was just a brief interaction, like, oh, hey, this is Donna, this is Holly and Heather, and we were just like, hey, and left it at that. And then this year, we all got to really sit down one night after one of the shows and chit-chat with her, and you all, what a lovely lady. She had some fantastic stories about growing up and spending her summers at Graceland with Elvis, and she's just charming and sweet and cute and gorgeous. She has the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. The woman is gorgeous to this day. But that was a real highlight to get to meet a family member and chit-chat for a little bit. So, yeah, definite highlight for me.
Yeah, and she's just as humble and just as kind and sweet as you would want her to be and hope for her to be. And, you know, just like Elvis, just humble and kind and, you know, good people. Good people.
That's a great way to say it.
Yeah. And if you're wondering, so she is Donna Presley. So she is, her mom is Aunt Nash, which if you're in the Elvis realm and world, you know Aunt Nash. You've heard that name. But she is Vernon's sister. So Vernon and her mom are brother and sister. And then her and Elvis were cousins. And I believe she said there was 15 years between her and Elvis. So she really, you know, grew up with the Elvis fandom. All she really ever knew and experienced as far as Elvis was Elvis. But, you know, she, just had really cool stories to tell about, you know, the Elvis, the human, like at home Elvis and stuff. So,
I literally at one point was like, how are holidays with Elvis? Was it like at Thanksgiving you were like, Elvis, pass the rolls? Or Elvis, can you grab me some more sweet tea? I'm like, what do you do? That's like just so bizarre. It's so funny. I'm looking for some other comments. Let's see here. Let's see. So Austin was in LA.
Hello, Yvonne. I hope you're still enjoying your time.
Yeah.
It was great to meet you and see you.
Somebody mentioned Larry Strickland. Yes, it was so great. I was so glad he attended Elvis Week this year and got to perform and talk a little bit, because we have just been so worried about him with all that's been going on with his life this last year. So wonderful. You know, music is such a great healer. So I hope that this Elvis Week lifted his spirits. I think it did. But yeah, it was fantastic to see him. Let's see. Yes, it was so good. I'm trying to look. Do you know why they ended the vigil so early and turned people away? I didn't hear about that. We were there, till it took us about 4 hours to get through the line. And even when we were leaving and saying bye to some people, there was still a huge line. One of our friends said she was there. Lynn was there till 3, 4. Like I think she. Yeah. So I don't know. Did they cut it off early? They may have. You know, I would think the longest Heather and I ever went through the line was the 40th, and that took us till it literally I think was 3 or 3:30 in the morning before we got done that year. Maybe there is a cutoff. I don't know. But I didn't hear about that, so I'm not sure. Let's see. But yeah, let me know if you did.
Some people are saying they feel like Priscilla's having memory issues. They said she's had some mistakes at other shows.
Maybe. You never know people's health.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's just not like Priscilla. You know, it was the weirdest thing. Yeah, the weirdest thing, because that's just not like her. I mean, she, if nothing, is, you know, usually, you know.
Yeah. Phyllis says she'd love to sit down with some people and us. Well, this one, Phyllis. This one could talk about Elvis all day. All day, every day. Trust me. Oh, yeah, everybody's saying Donna's great. She is. That's so sweet. Yeah, so we just wanted to chit-chat about that. Quick things. If you ordered a goodie bag, they will hopefully be on the way in a couple of weeks. I still have to get the shirts in and like all my shipping supplies. And then I, with Heather's help, I hope, have to package everything up and ship it out. So it's going to be a little bit, but never fear. I will message each and every person that got one when it ships. That way you'll know when to expect it. So don't fear. The scavenger hunt is on the way. If you signed up for the email, we are getting our questions together for it, and I will be emailing that out. Once again, I'll do a post here on Facebook to let you know when I've emailed it, so you can check your spam and junk folders and all that in case it doesn't go directly to you. But we're going to do the scavenger hunt, and then once I email them out, you'll have a good 2 weeks or so to like figure out your answers. All of the answers to the questions will be in either our videos or our posts from Elvis Week. So if you've already watched them all, you're probably going to already know all of the answers. If you have forgotten one, you just go back and it should be very easy to figure out where the answers are. So we're going to be mailing that out hopefully later on in the week. But like I say, I will let everybody know that. If you still want, the goodie bags are done. The cutoff for those was the 13th. But hey, if you still want a Everything Elvis t-shirt or Are You Ready to Fly 45, we're going to keep those on the website for a little while longer. So grab you one of those if you'd like. But we're just so excited that everybody came with us virtually and some physically to Elvis Week.
And that's the thing, a lot of you are reading, I'm trying to read the comments. So many of you are saying like you felt like you were a part of it with Holly and I, that you so appreciated it. So honestly, thank you. That means so much. Somebody was saying, Linda was saying she was worried when you started to feel sick. Luckily.
I'm okay.
Yeah, luckily she's all better. I think between the weird weather, between the rain, the heat, the humidity, us up early, out late, no sleep, and then I swear one of the beds that Holly and I shared at the hotel. Okay, it was
the size of this pan.
It was supposed to be a queen. I think it was a twin. Like we were literally like this. We were like little sardines.
I think it was a half a bug.
Yeah, it was like when we were little girls. And so between all that, I think what it was, system down.
In a week's time, I traveled from one end of the state to the other because I was in East Tennessee with Dad. Then I went to Nashville to pick Heather up. Then we went to Memphis. So I think between all of these 3 different things, I just got allergies and a little rundown. So yes, Dad's doing great. He is still recuperating. He is so tired, but that's to be expected because we're still exhausted. But he had a great time. He loved all of the shows and things he got to see. So he really enjoyed his very first Elvis Week. I think he's already planning coming back on January for the birthday week. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we'll be definitely going to the Elvis birthday week in January. So that's going to be super fun. But from here on out, the next few weeks, we're going to be showing you our haul from Elvis Week, talking about Elvis Week news. Seems like every week there's something new to talk about. We'll be going over our books and stuff. We might even throw in an Are You Hungry Tonight cooking segment. So it's exciting. Lots coming up in the next few weeks. But for now, unless you just have something very pertinent, I'm going to let you guys go.
No.
We gotta get on the road and stuff. We've been talking your heads off.
I was just going to say, stay tuned for so much more. Like Holly said, the next big thing is going to be the Elvis birthday week, January 5th through 8th. Tickets for that should be going on sale, I would say, in October. So we'll be coming back on here to talk about that, let you know. And then as soon as Graceland releases an event schedule, we'll be talking about those shows and events and what we'll be excited to attend and see.
Yeah.
So much more to come. Everything Elvis.
Yes. So hopefully we will see you guys next Sunday.
And again, thank you all. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And thank you so much for Elvis Week, for making it so great and so fun for Holly and I. All the love, all the stars, all the comments. We appreciate it. Keep them coming.
Thank y'all. We'll see you soon. Bye.